I'm recording, but to actualize the amount of time that I'm going to spend in there, it shouldn't take anything long just to see if there's any other BS that comes along with all of this. But the thing about it is this, that, it shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. It may or may not. And then I have my questions, even with my questions included, which I've already stated. Basically, hey, came here last night. These things rang up incorrectly. Spoke to the manager on duty. She said she didn't have a card to correct it. And she told me to just bring it in the morning and that you guys will fix it for me. And then after they fix it, is that something that the night shift should have been able to handle? Even without the card, would they have been able to document perhaps an item in place of that for the amount that was charged? You know, it shouldn't take no more than 5 minutes, but we'll see how it goes, right? And so, my whole concern about this whole thing is that, yeah, it shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. But in reality, even if it did take the 5 minutes that it should take and no longer, which may not be the case, it took way longer than that. It took me, I don't know how long. I think I left like maybe 8:40 something. It took me an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, all around round trip to get back to manage something that should have been happening last night. Plus the time that it took for me to walk back there and endure all that bull crap that I went through when I went back there. My goal in doing this is that, I don't want to be a victim, and when I say that, I mean this. I don't want to have a victim mentality. If I can review this and I see that, hey, perhaps I could have managed this a little bit differently, or, no, they weren't doing this or weren't doing that, then I see where I can adjust my behavior or my actions so that I'm not treated in any way that I don't like to be treated. Okay? So it's an attempt to empower myself to not be a victim of any undue treatment. I don't like it. I don't like that. So we'll see how it goes. And I did get a pinwheel spin or whatever via the app, because if you buy a $10 purchase, you get that. The purchase was $27.52. So, that dollar shouldn't change anything. And I was mad at myself yesterday evening too, because like I said, when I was going into the store, there was some guy in a red Mustang, that was, as I was walking past these pillars like this, he pulled up like that car, but he stopped and was, saying, hey, such and such and such. So I intentionally stopped directly behind the pillars so I was out of his line of sight. And I pulled out my phone. He saw me pulling out my phone and keeping on walking. And he followed me down for a little bit and then he went on and waited in the parking lot. So could be, could be that, perhaps he was waiting for someone in the store, or could be that he was waiting to catch me off guard when I came out. But because of all the whatever that happened in there, I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't aware. And typically, what I would say to myself in regards to that is that I need to be more aware of my surroundings, which is true. But right now, I'm at a point where I'm struggling so bad with all these things that I'm telling you about internally that I don't have the wherewithal. I don't have the wherewithal to do that. I'm just struggling to make it to this point, to where I'm going to take care of whatever business I need to take care of and get back. You know, if you make it so that, I don't have any choice but to have to interact with you that way, then so be it. But here we go. Good morning. I'm doing pretty good. Are you a manager on duty?
No, I'm not.
Okay, I'll tell you my situation. Maybe you can get the best person to help me.
Okay.
Last night I came in, I purchased canned ravioli, four for $5. Went to the register, I kept an eye on the things that were ringing up, and I figured at the end when I scanned my card it would go off. But then it didn't take off, but then I'm thinking, okay, maybe I missed something. So I stopped outside and I was hungry, so I had already started eating out of one of the cans of ravioli. So I stopped outside, looked over my receipt, and I said, it doesn't look like they took it off. So I came back in. There was a few people standing around here, and I asked them. I said, "Do you mind reviewing my receipt because these are supposed to be 4 to 5, 4 for 5. I don't believe that it came off that way." And they said, "Well, no. Two of them rang up for $1.48. Two rang up for $1.51. That's 4 for 5." And I said, "I don't think so. I think that it would be $1.25 each if it was 4 for 5." Then the girl that was there that I recognized had introduced herself as a manager previously, said, "Oh, you just have to bring it in the morning." And I think she said, "And Mr. McCrae will take care of it." I don't know if I'm saying the name wrong.
Okay, yeah, no, that's him.
Okay.
You have your receipt?
I do have my receipt, and I bought 3 of the cans back. The fourth one I ate, so it's not here. So,
Okay.
and even if it's just an exchange for the dollar amount, it doesn't have to be a refund. I can just get something that is equivalent to that
Okay.
amount.
Ma'am, I can get somebody on 5. Call Mr. McCray.
And who is Mr. McCrae? What does he look like?
He's the manager.
What does he look like?
He's a black man.
Okay.
Short, black man.
Okay.
Do I gotta take him out? No. I just got to scan them. Hang on. It is. My husband likes it.
Okay. And about me, my breath stinks. So, and I think she noticed. I had 2 gummies this morning, and I can taste it slash smell it. So I'm sure she could picked up on it too.
Can you just hold this up a little bit? Eight 64. 1977. Y'all keep that for the radio?
All right, so let's look at the time. I'm 7 minutes and 58 seconds in. So,
Huh? Spice clothes. This is the one I rang up. I rang it up twice. Okay, which one? You just want that one? Okay, it's on your dog.
I decided to reposition myself so I could see. But it's been a good 6 minutes, nothing. She asked somebody to page him. I didn't hear a page. So I don't know if they actually page or if they call, but I didn't see any action taking place. So I don't know what the deal is. So my next question would be, when you page people, how do you page them? Is it over an intercom? Because I didn't hear anybody being paged. When I looked at the time, it was 9:24, but the request was made actually a little bit before then. So we'll see how long it takes all in all. Well, there's cameras everywhere, so if he's in the back office somewhere, he surely sees me.
Mr. McCray, this, lady, she needs to see
Hey,
you.
good morning. I came in here last night. I bought 4 ravioli for $5. It didn't ring up that way. I didn't notice it until after I left. I came back and I spoke to, I guess, the manager that was on duty. She advised me to come in the morning and ask Mr. McCray. He'll take care of it for
Okay,
you.
so what was,
4 ravioli, 4 for 5 cans of ravioli, 4 for $5. When I looked at it, they both, the manager and whoever the other person was there, looked at it too. They said it did ring 4 for $5. Two rang for $1.48. Two rang for $1.51.
okay, so show me what you see.
I, so ravioli. Let me take a look. Let me grab this from you real quick so I can look at it. So it looks like it's right here. You have Chef Boyardee, ravioli, Chef Boyardee, spaghetti and jumbo, and then spaghetti rings. And so when I advised her that, she says, "Oh, two rang for 148, two rang for $1.51. That's 4 for 5." I said, "No, that's not. 4 for 5 is $1.25 a piece." I thought it would take off at the end, and it didn't. And then I realized it wasn't a card thing. It was the signage that was on there that said four for
All right, so
five.
come show me what you
Sure.
purchased.
Okay.
Hey, how you doing?
And is there any reason they couldn't have taken care of this last night? I don't know where the Chef Boyardee is because I walk up and down each and every aisle when I come in. Do you know where the canned foods are?
Chef Boy, you should be over on this side.
Okay. I see cans over there.
This way.
Okay. See, I'm gonna let you. That's what I'm saying. You know better than me. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Yeah.
4 for 5. Select varieties.
Okay, and you had two of them? Is that what you
Yeah.
said?
Two rang up at $1.48. Two rang up at $1.51. They said, "Well, that's 4 for 5," and I said, "No. 4 for 5 would be $1.25 a piece." And then she said, "Well, just come in the morning. Mr. McFray will take care of it for you."
So you bought, how many did you buy?
I
How many
bought
did you?
4.
You bought four.
Right. I ate one on the way home. I got 3 in there. So basically, I'm short $1 plus 10% plus tax. I don't need a net refund necessarily. I would be happy to just exchange for another item that equals up to the amount that would have been refunded.
Okay, so,
Mr. McCray, I need you on register 5, please. Mr. McCray, register 5,
Okay.
please.
did you pay with card or cash?
I paid with card. Like I said, I'm happy to just.
I just, do you have your card? Do you have your
I
card?
do have my card, but I'm happy to just get the
I want to
equivalent.
do exchange, put it back on the card, and then you can get what you like, okay?
Okay.
Hey,
His thing was $25.77, and I put in $18.
So what he's saying is that he's gonna refund it back on my card and I can get what I like. I already got what I like. The problem was that I was mispriced.
I laid it at 25.77, so I had to put in an amount, and I put in 18, and it did 26. So he still owes like $8.
I'm trying to understand.
15, okay, 15,
So, so he owed, but you put in the wrong amount, you're saying you put in
yes,
the wrong amount?
yes, yes,
Please pay attention.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
I mean, yes, sir.
So you owe,
Yeah,
The total was 25.77,
yeah.
18 in cash. Like 26 more, $6 off.
I can get somebody on Tuesday.
All right, one second, ma'am. Just wait right there. Let me fix this.
It's like $8.
Total amount is
Yes, sir.
and you
18 cash.
so so your drawer is gonna be short 777.
7
I gotta figure out what amount to put in, so it'll add up to 777. And that's gonna be the motion. So here's what I do, bro. Bag stuff up. Thank you. Have a good day. I got you. All right.
All right.
I got it.
So when you put Home Depot again, we'll put stuff like that.
Just put it in. Bag them up, and I got
Thank
you.
you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So I just want to be clear that I'm not looking for a refund or anything like that. I'm glad to whatever the amount that would have been refunded is. I think it's like $1 plus $1.10, $1.25 plus 10% plus whatever the tax is. I'll take something in place. If it's just another can, I'll be happy to take the can because that would be $1.25 plus
How much do I
10%.
owe you back now? That's
It would be $1.25 plus 10% plus tax. So it would probably be the equivalent of a can. I'll be happy to take a can and call it a day. Okay. I know you're busy, so I have a couple questions for you too. I'm just gonna wait until you finish. Yeah, I'm not in a rush, just so you know.
yeah. I owe you.
How do they look? Because I was scared to look because it says no refund, so they must have had some. You understand me?
¿Es ellos?
No, no, no. Yo quiero saber ver también porque dice no reembolso. Antes no dice la mismo. Yo pienso porque personas
Ma'am.
reembolsos. Tú no me entiendes.
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
yeah.
so
Ya compré.
yo quiero ver también.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got it.
Gracias.
Ujú,
No, reembolso.
sí.
Hay una cosa que hay.
Oh. Put the hole in this. We'll get another one.
So my question for him would be, is there any reason that they couldn't take care of this last night? Um, as a manager on duty. But watching him and watching how he performs, the answer to that may be just because, it causes anxiety and, they're not down for that. And maybe that's why they respond the way that they do to me because that's, what it is. But I'll ask.
I don't know if that is on the grocery invoice or whatever. But when you finish with those, give those to Mrs. Sarr for me, please.
Yeah, I think that's the answer to the question. I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, Mr. McCray, I think I answered my own question, but thank you for your help. Have a good day. All right. Okay, so here it is. So here's my emotional intelligence about that. I understand. And I think what it is, different people, just like I have feelings and, I have emotional intelligence about things, maybe other people have the same thing. Watching how he reacts and the way that he responds, you know, you can clearly see his social anxiety, and his desire to help people and make things right. Perhaps the people on the night shift or the people that I call quote unquote ghetto people, just like I have trauma and I stumble over my words and things like that because of the trauma, and I'm aware of that. perhaps that's how they deal with theirs, is that they don't deal with it. They push it off. If they can avoid it, they say as little as possible. Because again, just like me, I'm over explaining myself. I'm talking about things. People can take that and make things worse for you. And perhaps that's why. So I think I have an understanding of that. He fixed to resolve the issue. So I'm happy with that. So talking again about service and, our and so it all comes back to realizing that it's not all about you. And the key to realizing that is to go and face those things. The things you want to ask. And then if it reveals itself, then let it be revealed. Do I appreciate having to come back up here? No. If I had a real job, I wouldn't have been able to come, wouldn't have been able to come back up here. I wouldn't have been able to. So for right now, that's fine. But I know in the future, I need to look as it goes along and say, hey, if there's specials on something, I need to make sure that this brings up for that, you know. I need flip flops. No, I don't. I don't need flip flops. Let's move on. Been okay without them. Nobody wants to see my ugly toes, so we're gonna move on. I like being free though. I like my feet being free, but that's not what it is. So yeah, so I'm gonna understand with that. And in other news, and the sun is about to be really bright and hot. Oh my God. Um, so in other news, um, when I went to churches, the reaction that I got from the girl, again, I was just like, oh, I didn't say it, tried not to show it, but you could tell that her reaction caused a little anger, anxiety in me. Like I was like, ew. But the truth of the matter is that the very next day, like I said, God reveals things to me immediately, almost. This situation, I had to go and see how that man responded. And it wasn't just me that had an issue. There was somebody else that had an issue, you know? But, but, um, so the next day I walked into this office, just inadvertently on my way to run errands. I stopped in because I wanted to ask some questions, you know? Love asking questions and learning things. And this man told me, I didn't expect him to, but he was very forthcoming and very open. He told me, "Oh, I look like a boy in the." I'm catching myself on the security camera, and I look like a boy. If I were a boy, but I'm not. But I guess it doesn't matter at this age if I am or I'm not, because I'm not doing anything that's particularly feminine, and I'm not, not particularly intentionally masculine. So I look very scary. But it was scary to see that on video camera. They had a security camera as I walked past, and I caught myself, and it was scary. It's always scary to catch yourself. And there's another reflective mirror, and we'll look and see what I actually look like when we walk past it. Um, but yeah, so I walked into this man's office, and he he shared with me some things that was really disturbing, things that I never thought about, and I've seen them far away, like on TikTok and things like that, TV shows where, again, and he's the one that told me, oh, I didn't share this here, I shared this on TikTok, but he's the one that told me that, um, he used to be a substance abuse counselor. And in that, they had a case that went to court because the mother was on drugs. The mother traded her daughter, her 13-year-old daughter, for drugs to like 4 or 5 grown men. They broke into the house. The judge was involved in it, actually. There's no hope. There's no hope. The judge was involved in it, actually. Okay, we're going to walk by this glass in a minute. And when they broke into this house, they found the judge and 3 other adult men in bed with this child. So there's no hope. That's what made him quit and retire. But I mean, to be honest with you, if you've been in business, any business, any amount of time, which obviously I have not been because I haven't stayed anywhere any amount of time, you're bound to see something. And even the little times that I've been at places, I've seen things that just weren't right. So here, we're going to be scared when we walk past because I always look a mess. Well, y'all can't get the full thing about it. full view because it doesn't really show it that well. It's what's funny is there might be people that has a desk right there in front of that window and they're like, what in the world? But and you're like looking all in their glass. Yep, because this glass I walked past and she could actually see me. But and she looked like, what? Um, but yeah, so if you can imagine if you were a child that experienced, because this little girl at churches, she was like a little girl, you know, and I'm being generous by saying 18, 19, but she probably has kids already, you know. And if you are a person that's experienced that, you know, being mistreated as a child in that way by people that you love, because I imagine me being, when I was 40 and I found out that I was really disowned by my mom, that broke my heart. That broke me, you know, that broke me. That was all I had. That broke me. But if you can imagine being a child and the person that's supposed to care for you offers you up to be ravished and taken advantage of by other people for drugs, you know, you know, I mean, hate to anybody would hate to imagine, you know, what that would be like, you know. And if a person has been raised up that way, they don't have no heart for you or anybody else because nobody had a heart for them, you know. Um, So that gave me a little understanding, and that made me know that, hey, when I go into these places, that sometimes maybe these people have been abused. You know, like I said, that same day I ran into this woman that had this huge situation, you know, that was a huge legal type situation, and it was really traumatic, right? And okay, so it was really traumatic. These lights are never long enough. Oh my God, like I can't run fast enough to get across this light. But the people that's driving don't know that the light literally just changed. It literally just changed to where I was able to cross. But people in the cars don't see that. All they see is somebody at the last minute, you know, running across. And this is what gets me too, like, you know, and this is what makes me ask, is it me? I really wish that I had a hat or helmet. I wish I could record everything, you know, because my perceptions of what I'm seeing versus, you know, actuality. Because, you know, when you've been through a lot, your perceptions of what you see around you are a lot of times just based on your personal past experience, not necessarily right then and there, you know. Like I walked past this huge truck. I'll show you. I walked past this huge truck, right? And there's a fat blonde lady. She like she maybe 30 something. And it's a beer truck, and it's ginormous. And there's somebody right next to her. This guy, fairly attractive, no, fairly attractive, of the same species. They're caucasoids, as her. And I couldn't help but notice as I'm walking past, I feel her eyeballs on me. I mean, just, you know, so I look up because I feel her eyeballs on me. And she's just like staring me down. And I'm like, you know, I wish I could catch that on video, you know, because then I would be able to see it from the outside looking in and maybe have an understanding of why she's staring me down like that, you know. Um, yeah, because it was just really intense. And I look back and she's still staring me down, you know, and she has no reason to because I don't know her, she don't know me, you know, unless she ran across something on the internet. But if she runs across something on the internet, it's just me trying to straighten out my life, you know. These dogs, oh my gosh. I want to tell you something about these dogs. So when I first walked by, I guess they got used to my scent. They just went off. One of them did. There's one dog that's kind of friendly, and the other one's like crazy barking, like he'll get at you. But they're not doing it this time. They're just playing with each other. They're happily ignoring me. But I'm gonna tell you a sad story that's triggered by seeing these dogs. So I used to walk past here, and sometimes I get really, really sad. And you know, walking past, there's different dogs in the neighborhood that bark. And even though they were barking angrily, because I was invading their scent space or whatever just by walking past, after a while I found it quite soothing that they were barking at me because they're acknowledging my presence, you know. And it's a very sad thought. But when you don't have friends and family, like they said, if you can't get love, if you're not fed love from spoons, you'll happily lick it off of knives. And the fact that a dog barked at me and acknowledged me, I needed that. you know Legal system. you know Sometimes when you're in the legal system, you're in situations where you may have reporting duties to an officer of some type for a period of time, right? And the sad thing is, think about this, just consider this, that there are some people that may have those reporting duties for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, right? And the sad thing is that may be the only thing that's consistent in their life over that period of time. By the time they finish doing those duties, they would have had more interaction with this person than any other person. And that's sad. That's equivalent to, when they say folks go into a nursing home or whatever like that, you know? And, they spend all this time, focusing on their family and creating, a living to be able to support their family. And then when they're old, they're thrown into a nursing home with nobody to care for them. People don't even come to visit. And I saw this one TikTok where this lady was saying how they had like 4 rooms at the end of the hall where they kept those elderly people that didn't have people to visit them because they would cry all night long. I guess the good news for me is that I'm kind of going through that early. So, you ain't got to worry about me crying all night long. So, yeah, but it's all a matter of, I guess, perception and perspective. To see how that man interacted with those girls last night didn't interact that way. But people deal with trauma and stress in different ways, social anxiety in different ways. Some people are very open and upfront about it. I'm open and upfront. I'll let you know that, hey, this makes me uncomfortable, That man was very, upfront. And I've dealt with him maybe once before, and he ended up telling me, because I was like, why is my card not working? And he said that his whatever worked for a bank, and, sometimes, some cards are not able to work. It was a whole crock of shit. And he was saying it just so that he could be in alignment with whatever this person that worked with him, which was just a cashier, would say, because he didn't want any headaches, because some people are vicious and backlash, and if you don't side or align with them, there's going to be a problem, right? So, so he shows his very genuinely, he showed that he was scrambling, trying to take care. And they said that he's a pastor at another job, so maybe that's the thing too. Maybe people that are genuine, all pastors are not like that, but maybe people that are genuine people, perhaps, just like people that have severe mental issues go to be a psychiatrist or a psychologist because they know they fucked up. People that really commit really bad crimes and want to be able to hide it, they go be police officers or work for the legal system because they know that they're fucked up. Maybe pastors and things like that, people that look for kindness. That's why I put that nonprofit on paper, because, for people that have experienced all those things that I talk about, homelessness, corporate bullying, peer bullying, mental health issues. What else did I talk about? Victims of the criminal justice system. All those are rolled into one. Those are things that have impacted my life. And that's why I want to be a primary field that I work in on my own, from my viewpoint, from my understanding, from my experience, That's why my house is full of all that stuff from homeless days, because I don't want to throw away all those years. I want them to somehow have benefited me somehow. But I think it's weighing me down, And I'll never have the mindset or the wherewithal to be able to overcome that, because the truth is, just like those people that are put into the nursing homes when they're old, I don't think it always means that, their family doesn't care about them or see value in them. I think that life goes by so fast. These people are now struggling to pay their bills. They have to go to work and whatever. And so they push off that responsibility. It's not good. It's a capitalistic society. And for me too, I would love to, entrench myself in self-care. I would love to, just be to myself and take care and see. But the thing is that I do need other people, and that's why I've been because I'm at a point where I'll do whatever to care for me. But I'm at a point where I'm actively soliciting for, hey, I need your love, your encouragement, your support, you know? But the truth of the matter is, nobody, not one. There's one only, like I said, Boston Banker, that comes occasionally. I don't even know why he still comes here, but he does occasionally, and I'm appreciative. That's the only one person that comes on my YouTube, you know? And coming on my YouTube is not, anything for clout. It's just to check on me is basically what you're doing. And why are you just checking on me? I don't have any friends or family. You know what I'm saying? The fact that I'm still walking and talking and still alive, nobody has decided, okay, we're going to practice and see if we can kill people based on her. I'm such an easy target. It's amazing, um, it's amazing to me, not one, you know. And I feel fortunate with TikTok, even though I don't have anybody specifically reaching out, some people are actually seeing me, because I'm getting likes on videos, and it may just be one like, but it's still a like. I'm getting likes on videos that, where I'm sharing some of my experience. So maybe it's a person that's been homeless or been through that understands, and I appreciate it, But anyway,